What's up everyone, Silverpone here, and today I want to talk about the open map concept in Xenoverse 3 and how it could possibly work out just a little bit. So before starting, I want to just say real fast that I also had a video posted on this exact topic before in the past on the channel, and I took a lot of time and effort into that video. I also had the help of AI with the help of the Snapchat powered ChatGPT-4 AI. It was a pretty cool video. It had 10 reasons why open maps should be a concept in Xenoverse 3, so go check that out. This video I'm going to kind of just go a little bit more in detail with what I was talking about. So yeah, it just helps if you've seen that one first. But anyway, let's get into it. So with Xenoverse, we have many different maps within the game already established. We have, the tournament map, the glacier map, the, you could even say the Tournament of Power if you wanted to, but even like the Wasteland 2, we have all these different maps in Xenoverse 2. And Xenoverse 3, when or if it were to come out, I do believe that the maps should be open map. And what I mean by that is, a big map, it still has a barrier to it, but the map is big enough for you to, traverse it and still have quite a bit of land to go through. And it's just, the map is big enough for you to explore, and you maybe take about like 3 or 5 minutes, maybe more, to get across the entire map if you're flying at full speed, something like that. Whatever Kakarot's maps were, the size of that is great. We can also look at Dragon Ball the Breakers. They have maps that are similar to Conton City, which I'm about to get into in a second, but those maps are segmented as well, just like Conton City. But when you're flying, it'd have to be something similar to Dragon Ball the Breakers map size, I believe. I don't know the exact size of it, but something relative to the size of Dragon Ball the Breakers maps would work pretty well. Now, with that being said, all the maps that we do have established, if you were to enlarge them, like let's say you take the pod landing map where the pod spaceship is landed in Xenoverse, and you're able to go outside of the boundaries of that map, I think that would work best for Xenoverse 3. Like I said, still having the map be about as big as Dragon Ball the Breakers maps, like that size, or Kakarot, but just being able to go beyond the boundaries. And they could include many different things in the maps. For the Xenoverse 3, they could put NPCs in the maps, they could put hidden items in the maps. There could be like different things, like a hidden thing that triggers a alternate ending in the parallel quest or a story mode, whatever. They would be able to just explore the different areas and ingrain it into Xenoverse 3, and just put things that they've already established in Xenoverse 2 in Xenoverse 3 in the open map aspect, and I think it would work well. For instance, we have the Majin Buu kids, where you give them, candy, chocolate, blah blah blah. They give you items in exchange. Instead of the Majin Buu kids being, in just the Majin Buu house, what if they were to traverse the maps, the open map areas? You travel to one open map and you're exploring, you might find a Majin Buu kid. You give them something and you might get a rare item. I think that would work cool. Like I said, just establishing things that they already have in Xenoverse 2 in an open map concept would work very well. So yeah, just taking the maps that we already have, shrinking them a bit, or no, enlarging them, I'm sorry, and you're able to just go beyond the boundaries of what was Xenoverse 2. Which would make sense, because if you look at a lot of the backgrounds in the Xenoverse 2 maps as well, you can see that they have, rendered an outside of the boundary. Of course, it's probably not as perfected as what we have in the maps. It's probably, a lot of those things probably aren't rendered correctly. Like for instance, if you were to mod to go past the building or the barrier in like the capsule court map, you might be able to go into that city, but you might fly through the buildings or something like that, something weird. But yeah, it's just, that would work great for Xenoverse 3, man. And I think, like I said, they already have it loaded in the background. You can see a lot of the backgrounds already there. But, if they want to take that idea and take the concept of what they loaded beyond the map barrier, like what you can see, and you can just access that in Xenoverse 3, that'd be cool too. And you know, they can build upon it, like I said, and establish things that they already had in Xenoverse 2. Now, going to Conton City. Conton City is where this whole theory kind of comes to light, I guess, because, well, not really theory, but topic, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But open map concept for Xenoverse 3, right? You would think that it sounds kind of crazy, or maybe it sounds kind of crazy to you. It doesn't to me. But if you stop and think about it for a second, we already technically have an open map in Xenoverse 2. What do I mean by this? Look at Conton City, right? When you're able to fly in Conton City, it's essentially the same thing that I'm asking for in Xenoverse 3. You're able to traverse Conton City, go to the different areas of the map, and you're flying around. Now, what's to say they couldn't just add battles in that area and make the map just that size? You could, and you know, Conton City already has everything that I'm talking about established within Xenoverse. So they could just build upon that and make different maps the same way. For instance, we have the masters everywhere on the map in Conton City. We have the school area for training. We have the parallel quest hub. We have, you know, and a lot of these things would probably stay in the hub city for, you know, Xenoverse 3, whatever it might be, Conton City version 2 or whatever. It's probably going to have like a lot of the things like the parallel quest station and all that are probably going to stay there. But different things like masters and whatnot, they can be all over these different maps if they're open map. I mean, like, for instance, we have Broly standing on one of the mushrooms in the desert area. We have Bardock over by the waterfall. If we implement open map in Xenoverse 3, the maps that would contain these segmented portions, like the wasteland area, or some desert area with mushrooms or whatever that might be, maybe Broly is over there, and maybe after you fight him, you can become his student. He can become your master in Xenoverse 3. It could just be certain things like that that would work out in your favor. This would also just add a layer of immersion to Xenoverse as a whole. It bring a new light to the game. If you're sitting here and you're able to go through an open map and just see how they've utilized different things from the previous games into this new type of game, it would just give you a breath of fresh air, and it would give the game a lot more replay value because you have these areas to explore. Also, you can still do battles and whatnot, and everything would essentially still, everything that Xenoverse 2 had, you can still have. Now, I think that when it comes to online and PvP, you know, the open map isn't going to be a concept. I think that's where it should revert back to Xenoverse 2. And what I mean by that is, let's say like, okay, Xenoverse 3 came out and it's open map, right? We have open maps like Kakarot, kind of similar to Kakarot's maps or Dragon Ball The Breakers maps. Or you can just use Conton City as a reference. That comes out. If you go into online, player versus player, PvP, or, you know, something like that, having the open map is kind of useless at that point, and I understand that. So putting a barrier around just a portion of the map, that way you only have to worry about the players contained within this certain space fighting and not having to worry about loading an entire map for just 2 players fighting, or a 2v2 or a 3v3, which, you know, Xenoverse 3 would have, because that's what Xenoverse has. It would just work better for the game and you wouldn't have to worry about glitches and things. So I think with PvP in certain modes like world tournaments or whatever, where there's spectators involved, or there could be spectators as well, just, you know, like a 1v1 player setting or whatever, 2v2, 3v3, there should be a barrier. Like that should work. And I don't think it would be a big deal for them to have an open map for, you know, concepts like parallel quests and story mode. That would make those two things a lot better. But still have it limited for just PvP, like a mode where it's useless, just you don't have to load all that stuff. I think that would work the best. So, you know, there would be some workarounds, and you could kind of use Kakarot as an example, because when Kakarot, when you go into the battle sequence, granted you can fly around a pretty wide area, but the battle is kind of contained within like a barrier, sort of. It's just very, very large. But you wouldn't need something that big for Xenoverse unless they wanted to do that. But the map size we have in Xenoverse 2 would work good for PvP, but open map would still work best for story mode and whatnot. So yeah, I kind of rehashed a lot of the same points in this video, but I kind of wanted to just go into topic or into detail, sorry, about, you know, this topic, and just kind of explain what I'm talking about. And it might kind of still be jumble at the end of the day. I kind of feel a little bit rushed making this video, but hopefully what I'm saying isn't too confusing to you guys and you understand what I'm saying. I'm gonna put, like, you know, some examples on screen as I'm talking, so it kind of helps you follow what I'm talking about. So hopefully that works. But yeah, let me know what you guys think if you followed along. Also, if you made it this far to the video, thank you so much again. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the noti bell if you want to. And yeah, I'm probably going to be reading your comments if you leave any on this video. So I'm not expecting this video to get a lot of retention, but you know, the people that do stick around and comment, I appreciate you. I will be reading, and I'm interested to see what you have to say. So thank you again. Peace.